feeling much more like our traveler. In fact, I wonder if before he set out from Jerusalem for Jericho, the question that opens Psalm 27 crossed his mind. Lord, of whom should I be afraid? After all, as the lawyer originally asks Jesus, who is my neighbor, does not that also ask, who is not my neighbor? Should I be afraid of them? Now, perhaps more than ever, our country seems afraid. We call ourselves the home of the brave, where gates and walls rise around our communities, despite all evidence telling us we are safe. The home of the brave, where we're willing to drop bombs in any country where there may be enemies who might want to harm us. The home of the brave, where our fear of dissenting opinions from those we love leaves us dreading family gatherings. We fear criminals, we fear foreigners, and yes, we fear our neighbors. So I ask, of whom else should we be afraid? And do not we have a reason to be afraid? Every day, it seems like there's a new story of planes going down, outbreaks of diseases, and people being murdered for doing exactly what we are doing here, gathering to love the Lord. I confess, I am completely guilty of this all-consuming fear that clouds our rational judgment. Tonight, I will set out on my own journey to Jericho. Literally, I'm on an 11 p.m. flight out of Newark to Tel Aviv. And I'm asking the question, of whom should I be afraid? The plane? A customs agent? Because, Lord, I am afraid. I'm afraid of the unknown future. On this trip, where I'll be in college, of asking that girl to prom, I, Lord, am terrified. And I ask you, of whom shall I be afraid? Because the list seems to go on and on. And all this while, we forget to continue reading Psalm 27. Because Psalm 27 gives us a very simple, very direct answer to the question of whom should we fear. Nobody. Perhaps it is one of the most recurring themes in the Bible. Exodus chapter 13, verse 14. Moses answered the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today." Or Luke 2:10. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid." Or Mark 6:50. Jesus says, "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." And then, of course, today's reading, Psalm 27. Though an army encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war rise up against me, yet I will be confident, for he will hide me in his shelter in the day of trouble. He will conceal me under the cover of his tent. He will set me high on a rock. And how do I know he will set me high on his rock? Because I look out at you, my neighbors. I look to my left, and I look to my right, and I see my neighbors. I will leave church today, and on my flight tonight, I will see neighbors. Because when God made us in his image, it wasn't just in appearance, but in his unyielding capacity for love. So I will not be praying for safety from my neighbors. No, I will be praying for safety from the fears which cloud my judgment, allowing these doubts in the Lord's love to intoxicate my mind. Lord, remind me that because the Lord is my light and my salvation, I have no one to fear. Because the Lord is the stronghold of my life, I have no one to fear.